Building a deck on a budget is one of the most important things for a Pokemon TCG player to do. You probably don't have a ton of money to spend on this hobby, or in some cases, you have all the cards, but you don't have money to buy anything extra. By the end of this video, you'll be able to make a deck no matter what cards you have to start with. If I used my collection, I don't think it would be very fair. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to use a Fusion Strike build and battle deck that's been sitting on my shelf for months. And I'm going to open a Fusion Strike Elite Trainer box. That'll give me like 12 packs to work with and a little pre-made deck. Just know that even if you can't afford any product and you're using what you have already, this process does not change. Now, for those of you who are buying product, it depends on your budget, but I would first grab a theme deck of any sort that you like. What you're really deciding on is the main Pokemon that the deck revolves around. And then buy booster packs from the same set as the deck. That could be like I did with an Elite Trainer, it could be a booster box. Like I said, it depends on your budget. Sets like Fusion Strike, for example, have a very good synergy within, meaning that the cards can often benefit each other. What you're really trying to do since you're on a budget is to get as many cards from one set as possible. After all of our packs are open, I recommend sorting all the cards into their own types. Really what we're trying to do is organize what we have to work with. And now that everything's in order, let's take a look at the structure deck. From here, we need to decide if we're going to keep the structure deck and just swap cards out, or if we should build the deck from scratch. And if you don't have a structure deck, then all you need to do is find the star of your deck. This could be any Pokemon you want, but ideally, you want this Pokemon to be your trump card. It should be what the entire deck is built around. And if you're limited on energy cards, keep that in mind too. When choosing this Pokemon, try to consider how much of each element you have to work with. This is including Pokemon and energy cards. However, just so you know, energy cards are very, very cheap. And if you went to your local card store, I'm sure you can get more energies than you ever need for a few dollars. Real quick, let's talk about the normal typing. This typing is unique in the sense that you could use any element in place of the normal element itself. I'm not going to go into full detail about how you play the game, but if you want me to cover that topic, let me know in the description, and if there's enough demand, I'll make it. Due to our limited supply of cards, there's going to be a lot of cards that just aren't usable. So I'm going to go through all of the cards and remove anything that I can't use. This might be a Pokemon you can't evolve into, or maybe it's a card with an effect you can't benefit from. Either way, we want to narrow it down to all of our playable cards. And if you're using a pre-made deck, don't accidentally remove cards that you could actually use. Once that's done, I recommend choosing one single type to focus on. This is called a mono deck. If you're using a themed deck, then use whatever elements that the deck's already using. But for everybody else, stick with a single element accompanied by the normal typing. Here is where you need to make a choice on your deck size. Most people use 60 cards, but in this situation, you may decide on a number much closer to 40. We don't really want to add cards that we wouldn't want to draw, so use your better judgment here. As far as how much of what card, the standard is 20 Pokemon, 30 trainers, and 10 energies. However, this is just the standard format. You do not need to follow it perfectly. And if you're doing a 40 card deck, just try to match that ratio with the 40 cards. Given all the cards I pulled today, I decided to build off of the 23 card deck that was provided in the build and battle deck. Mono decks are much easier to use. However, for this example, I'll go through a multi-element deck. Latios and Latias are our stars for the deck. They work really well with each other due to red and blue assist. Latias helps with our defense, while Latios helps with the attack. This makes them a very powerful duo, which is why both of them are the star of the deck. We're also running Meloetta, which is the perfect support for this deck. Alone, she's pretty weak. However, later into the game, when you have multiple Fusion Strike energies on the field, she becomes a monster. Smeargle is used for trainer card recovery. Throwing a single energy on Smeargle is enough to put 2 trainer cards back in your hand from the discard pile. At this point, I strongly built off of the deck I started with, but I decided to add a few more Pokemon to support the deck. Oricorio is a strong bench Pokemon. We don't intend on using it as an active Pokemon, meaning we're not actually using it for battle. Rather, we're going to use its ability to reduce all incoming damage by 20 points. All of our Pokemon have been Fusion Strike Pokemon up till now. You can tell they're Fusion Strike by the logo in the corner, which leads us to our final Pokemon, Victini. Since this Pokemon is not a Fusion Strike Pokemon, that means that all of our effects targeting Fusion Strike will not apply. Victini's role is very simple: to take a discarded energy and place it on one of our benched Pokemon. There is a lot that goes into make a cohesive deck, but as you can see, most of the Pokemon besides our star are here to support the rest of the deck. This trend stays true while we go through our trainer cards. Trainer cards are much more to the point, so I'm only going to cover the ones that stand out. First, our Stadium card. Training Court also has the ability to recover energy from the discard pile. The only difference being this card will put the energy in our hand and not on our benched Pokemon. Chili, Kylan, and Cress allow us to search for 3 Fusion Strike Pokemon to put in our hand. Since almost all the Pokemon we're running are Fusion Strike, getting this card instantly sets up our entire field. The last trainer card I want to touch on is Elisa's Sparkle. One of the biggest reasons that we're running mostly Psychic Energies is because of the Fusion Strike energy card. This energy card could be any element. It still only functions as one, but Elisa's Sparkle allows us to pick 2 Pokemon and automatically place 1 energy each on them. This makes getting these new Fusion Strike energy cards really simple. The biggest drawback to these energies, however, is the fact that they only work on Fusion Strike Pokemon, which leads us to our energy makeup. We got 4 Fusion Strike energies, 2 water energies, and 6 psychic energies. Most of the strongest cards I use require the same set. This isn't always the case, especially when you start expanding your collection. Initially though, pick 1 set and spend it all right there. And of course, for those of you using the cards that you have, all of this still applies. You just stick to the cards that don't lock you into specific sets. In my opinion, deck building is the most exciting part of trading card games, and Pokemon is no exception. And this is just how I go about putting a deck together. There are tons of ways to do this, and there is no right or wrong way. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to respond to you as quickly as I can. If you enjoy watching me build decks, let me know. I have no problem making more of them if you guys actually want to watch them. Speaking of something you actually want to watch, click the video on the screen to see if the new set Astral Radiance could be Wade.